المستمر بين دولة قطر والدول الشقيقة. تلقى حضرة صاحب السمو أمير البلاد المفدى اتصالا هاتفيا يوم أمس الاثنين من أخيه جلالة الملك حمد بن عيسى آل خليفة ملك مملكة البحرين الشقيقة. خلال الاتصال استعرض القائدان العلاقات الأخوية بين البلدين وسبل دعمها وتعزيزها في مختلف المجالات، كما تم بحث عدد الموضوعات الإقليمية ذات الاهتمام المشترك. وفيما يخص معالي رئيس مجلس الوزراء وزير الخارجية، استقبل معاليه يوم أمس
of Foreign Affairs, His Highness received his counterpart, and also they went through the bilateral relations. Regarding the regional tensions, there were several calls between the Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and his counterpart from Saudi Arabia, and also His Excellency Jarrah Jabir al-Sabah from the State of Kuwait, and Ahmed al-Safadi, Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Jordan, and also His Excellency Asad al-Shaybani, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Syria. During these calls, His Excellency stressed the importance on the coordination and also the importance of committing to the MOU between the United States and Iran, including the freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, and also to build on all the achievements and also strengthen the regional stability. His Excellency will also head or chair the joint Egyptian-Qatari committee that will take part in Al-Alamein in Egypt. As far as the Minister of State for International Cooperation, and given the importance of the practice that Qatar gives to the people with special needs, Her Excellency Maryam bint al-Misnad has reviewed all the different agreements regarding the people with special needs that took place in Geneva on 12 and 13 August. In conclusion, Her Excellency stressed the importance of respecting this agreement, and that Qatar will take into consideration all the outcome and conclusions of this agreement regarding the people with special needs. Yesterday, on Monday, Her Excellency also met with Christy McNeil, the State Minister in the United Kingdom, and that was a virtual call. They reviewed the cooperation between the two countries and how to enhance these relations further. State of Qatar has issued several communiques this week, including, and most importantly, the declaration to which Qatar joined together with 7 other countries, condemning the Israelis, the efforts that are hindering the peace agreement and the peace agreement in the Strait of or the Gaza Strip. Also, they condemned the attack in Kurdistan in a communique that was issued on Wednesday. Do you have any questions? Peace and blessings be upon you. First of all, how do you see the options that the GCC have after the 60 days of conflict? How would you describe the ongoing situation, especially that there are still risks of military escalation? Second question, despite the denials of Qatar, Iran is still talking about hostages from Iran that are in Qatar. Is this still a possibility to have the rescue teams? Can you please remind me of your first question? Can you please describe the situation in the region after 60 days of the conflict? What are the options that the region's countries have? First of all, regarding how to describe the region, let me confirm a few points. First, the ongoing efforts is focusing on de-escalation and ending the war. Now we are talking about an escalation that took place recently that included what happened regarding the violation of the ceasefire and the tensions at the Strait of Hormuz, the closure of the strait, etc. So we are focusing on this issue and making sure we go back to what has been mentioned in the MOU and going back to the negotiations efforts. These are ongoing efforts, as I said, but we are still waiting to reach an agreement between Sultanate of Oman and Iran regarding the Strait of Hormuz, and this, as I said, will help us to go back to negotiations. However, we need to confirm as well that the conflict, as we see it now, or the crisis, represents a threat for everyone, and we are not here implementing in a normal way what has been mentioned in the MOU. We are not implementing the roadmap as of now. However, as far as we're concerned, we continue to implement or exert efforts, and we believe that the only way to move forward is a ceasefire, the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, and going back to normal or freedom of navigation, and going back to the negotiations. Now, regarding the statement, the Iranian statement, let me tell you clearly the following. Our stance was clear from the beginning. These planes did not come here for leisure. They came here to threaten the citizens and residents, and after we confirmed that they violated our airspace and that they threatened the city of Doha, we have handled the situation as known and according to conventional norms, and we have reached out to the pilots, but there was no response from their side, so we need to handle the situation and to deal with the planes, and our rescue and search teams have done the needed in accordance with the international law and standards. As you know, the search and rescue team has proven to be competent locally, but also internationally, as they were involved in several rescue in other countries, and they carry out their duties perfectly, and they ended up by finding the body of one of these pilots, and we have informed the Iranians accordingly, and the search operations have stopped on April 6th after we found the body of parts of the body of one pilot. And as you know, in these kind of researches or searches, there is what we call the golden hour, and then after this golden hour, it's difficult to find anything. So as I said, we did everything correctly, and we have contacted the Iranians, and the Iranian delegation came here. They took the needed measures, and they repatriated the body, and there was a funeral, and we have also invited them to send a technical team so that they can review all the details of the search and rescue operation that took place. Unfortunately, the Iranian side did not respond to this invitation. This invitation is still open, and instead of responding positively to this invitation, we were surprised by these statements. These are false accusations and illogical. The body there was a funeral for the body, and they have an open invitation to come to Doha and to look into all the details of this search and rescue operation. However, if the agenda is some items of local consumption to solve some local or domestic issues, we are not concerned in that case. So as far as we're concerned, everything is clear, and there's no need for media speculation in this case, and we will not change our stance, which is to protect our sovereignty from any future violations.